Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well today. I wanted to talk about something that I believe is a huge problem today, especially in American Christian culture. I believe there's an epidemic going around, and it is causing so many Christians to feel like they are either being unheard from God or they're being neglected from God. And what I'm talking about is transactional faith. I think a lot of Christians have a transactional faith, but what exactly does that mean? Transactional faith is basically the mindset of if I do this, I will get that. So, in a Christian perspective, it is if I do X, God will give me Z. So, if I go to church 3 times a week, God will reward me. If I tithe and donate to my local church, God will reward me. He will return the favor. Basically, I do the chores, mom gives me $10, done deal, that's it. But guess what? That's not how it works at all. We know this because we see an example of how transactional faith does not work in the book of Job. Now, if you've read the book of Job, if you've never read the book of Job before, basically, God makes a bet with Satan that whatever he does, it will not deter his faithful servant, which is Job. So Satan agrees to this bet, and he throws everything possible towards Job to make him resent God or fall away from God. He takes away his livelihood. He takes away his family. He makes Job miserable. And in the midst of Job's despair and anguish, he has 3 friends that are beside him, and they talk to him about what's going on. They tell him why God did this to him, trying to come up with reasons. And eventually, they conclude that the reason God has done this to Job is because he has committed some sort of sin and must get forgiveness. Because in their transactional faith, they believe that the wicked are always going to be punished and the righteous will always be blessed and rewarded. No exceptions. That's always how it's going to be. What we see later, towards the end of the book of Job, God responds to this conclusion by Job and his friends. And this is what God says. Pay attention. He says in Job chapter 38, verses 3 through 4, dress for action like a man. I will question you, and you make it known to me. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. God makes it clear that you cannot understand his ways through a transactional faith, through a transactional mindset. You cannot understand God through that perspective. And then Job responds to God by saying, behold, I am of small account. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer twice, but I will proceed no further. We see that Job finally understands that God cannot be put in a box. He cannot be limited by a reward system. God does not work in transactional faith. We see that God cannot be singled down to a single equation or formula. So it's possible that you feel neglected or unheard by God because you're not coming to him with a humble heart. You might be coming to him because you want something from him. And that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come to him for him only. we are supposed to come to Him for His blessing and for His grace. Does that mean you're not allowed to ask for anything? Of course not. You and I can pray for things and ask for things. But when we base our entire faith around a reward system, expecting to get things out of every action we do for God. Oh, but I attended youth group this past week and I've read my Bible every day. Doesn't that mean I should still get what I was praying for? Not exactly. That doesn't mean anything. God doesn't work like that. He cannot be limited like that. So it's important for so many modern day Christians to understand that that's just not how God works. And I believe that, at least for Americans, I don't know about people in other countries, but we were raised in a reward system in our society. Our society is built around a reward system. If you want that job, you might have to suck up to whoever can get you that job. If you want to be rewarded in school or recognized, you have to be on good behavior and have good performance in your schoolwork or classwork. If you want to reap the benefits of someone else, you have to be friends with them. That's a reward system. You do X, you get Z. That is a reward system that America has kind of been based upon. But Jesus says, no, that's not how it should work. When dealing with others, you should serve them, just as I have served. Is what Jesus says. Jesus says we have to put ourselves in a humble position and give to them without expecting anything in return. Because if we cannot love one another and be kind to one another without expecting something, how do we even show genuine kindness to one another at that point? How are we genuine? How are we true? How can I even say I have real friends if everyone just wants something from me? And that's how God feels to people with transactional faith. He doesn't see you as a real child of His because you always want something from Him. And going back to serving others, Jesus says in Matthew chapter 20, verses 26 through 28, but among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must become your slave. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give His life as a ransom for many. So learn to come to God with a humble heart, not with a heart that's full of desire and wants. Learn to serve others as Christ served others. Learn to walk as Christ walked. I love you. God bless you.